I think today's Wednesday, April 19th. I just wanted to remind everybody, or let you know if you didn't know already, that April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. What does that mean? I think it means that more people are doing fundraisers to maybe get it out there more. That we all know that sexual assault happens. Rape, felonious sexual assault, or there could be aggravated felonious sexual assault, which means there's a weapon involved or that somebody was injured more than the norm, more than emotionally, more than the natural physical injuries that happen. Let's talk about it's a tough subject. I am a survivor myself, and it's a tough subject. Many people who are victims slash survivors, or victims heading on the road to becoming a survivor, have a very difficult time with this. It holds a certain stigma rather than, there's an assault, which is also an invasion, but when it becomes sexual, there is some kind of stigma attached to it for whatever reason. It makes you start feeling dirty, insecure. Maybe there's something wrong with you. Maybe I could have changed it. Maybe I could have stopped it. I also said people. I didn't want to say female or male because it does happen to both genders. Men have an especially difficult time because many times they're not believed, or many times they think you could have done something. If it's a man that they are assaulted by, there's the question of homosexuality within. Am I homosexual? What made this happen to me? Just as a woman sometimes thinks, what did I do to make this happen? Not that it's true. Of course you didn't do anything. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're homosexual or not. If you are, it doesn't mean you deserved it. If you aren't, it doesn't mean you have this tendency. But I do find that men report it less. There are cases where females have raped men, and you think, how could that happen? Because man naturally has to have an erection. But there are certain things that the body does physiologically, and there can still be. And another one, there's still that stigma. Um, the officers laughing at you, and that's right. It still happens in today's day and age. It still happens in today's day and age. You still get questioned sometimes, not always, by the police, even if you're a woman, that you did something to make it happen. So it's a very tough crime. It's a tough crime to accept that it happens. It's a tough crime to report, whether you're male or female. Like I said, there's a stigma. There's a generalization that it's a woman that is the victim slash survivor. So really, education is needed out there. This has been happening since the beginning of time. I don't foresee any kind of change to it. There's all different kinds of sexual assault, all different kinds. But right now, what I'm talking about is felonious sexual assault, rape. And it doesn't have to be penetration. No means no, period. So you can be raped by a spouse, you can be raped by a date that you went on, willingly. You can be raped by a friend, by a stranger, by the same sex, by the opposite sex. If it happens, many don't report it. So the statistics we have aren't necessarily clear, because I would say there's a good portion, probably more than is believed, that don't report it. And then there is the false reports. And I just want to say to you, especially women are known to do this. I have never known of a man to do this, not that I'm saying that it isn't possible or that it hasn't happened. But I have known of women that falsely report. And they falsely report for one reason or another. Maybe they were unfaithful and they got caught and they reported a sexual assault. Or maybe they're angry at their lover, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and they report it. They falsely report it. Maybe I know of one case where the girl was younger than the guy thought she was, and um, was late for her curfew and was afraid she was going to get in trouble. So she reported a rape. He went to jail because they found his DNA. Now he's a daddy of two beautiful girls, and he can't participate in a lot of things that the girls do because he has to register as a sex offender, and he's not a sex offender. The courts need to realize that when people do lie, unfortunately, see, it's a really tough thing, because if you've ever had that happen, your immediate thought is, oh, she or he is lying. If you've ever been lied about like that, or, and then there's the other way of thinking, that if you've ever been assaulted or close to it, you immediately want to believe. I think if somebody says they were raped, we have to initially believe them. We have to. Unfortunately, men, I know of another case where a young man actually died in jail, and it wasn't rape, but he was falsely accused of domestic violence. The girl was violent. She was the one that started it. She was a lot smaller than him, cried that it was him. The courts believed her. He ended up, and she would keep coming back. She was like a poison to him. Keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. He kept taking her back, taking her back, taking her back. This would happen. The police would be called. He finally ended up in jail, and he died there. She was lying. She admitted it after he died. That wasn't sexual assault, that was domestic violence, but there's a lot of lies about both. Unfortunately, there are some very sick people out there that actually like the drama. They like the, rough sex, and then they accuse. It's like they hold it over. Usually a man's head. Sometimes it could be a woman. You know what happens, unfortunately, when people lie is not only are they hurting the people that they're falsely accusing, but they're hurting the future victims. Because what happens is, if a judge or a lawyer or a doctor sees enough cases of somebody lying and sees the destruction that causes, then when a true case comes in and somebody was truly victimized, they tend not to believe it. So then the perpetrator gets away with it. Same thing with domestic violence, same thing with sexual assault. So those, and it's usually women, those people that do that, you are despicable. You are absolutely despicable. I find you as despicable as I do the true perpetrators. Both of you are the same, because you're both making it so that nothing gets changed about this problem. Okay, so I'm sorry to go off on that tangent, but April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. If you have, it's the best thing is to start the education at home. I know we do a lot of things in public schools, but then as your parent, you lose control over what the child is really learning. So how about at home? You start teaching. If you have a little boy, you teach him their boundaries. You teach them how to respect the opposite, other people in general, but how to respect women. If you have a girl, you teach her how to protect herself. You teach her how, I think education belongs. It starts at home, And if somebody comes to you and says that they were assaulted, male or female, please listen, be open, listen, take all the steps necessary. Even if you doubt the story, don't immediately doubt the story. If somebody does lie about it, they have a mental health issue, and you need to get that treated. If it's your child and he or she is lying about it, they need to get treated. That's a mental health issue. But if he or she reports to you, definitely do take the steps. Take them to the doctor, take them for psychotherapy if they're willing. They're not always willing, but be there. I want you to know that people react in different ways. Some people become very standoffish. They close themselves off. They don't want to talk to anybody. They never want to be touched. It bothers them to be touched. Other people will do the exact opposite. Some young girls or older women, whatever, become promiscuous. Some will cling to total strangers. Some will be angry at the world. You don't know how someone's going to react. So just be patient, be open, and come from a place of unconditional love. Don't write off anything they say. Don't. If it's big to them, it's big. Don't judge anything they say. Just be open, be there, be willing. Touch if they need it. If they don't, love from a distance. This is one of my, you know how we all have issues that we really feel strongly about? This is one of mine. Sexual abuse, domestic violence, sexual assault, pedophilia, anything to do like that is, I really have, it's on my heart to do something about this. I've been working in this field. I used to work with the Coalition for Domestic Violence, and it's really something that's heavy on my heart. April is awareness month, but we should be aware at all times. If somebody's attacked you, or if you are in fear, take it seriously. Report. Talk to somebody. If it has happened to you, there's nothing you did to make it happen. I don't care what the situation was. Nobody ever has the right to violate you. Ever. No matter what. No matter if you were drunk. No matter if you liked the person and you were. It doesn't matter. Okay? All right, guys. I just kind of wanted to speak. You already know all this, but it's something heavy on my heart. I'm going to go down to it's not the coalition, but the YWCA here in Manchester. I have a meeting with them on Friday, and I'm going to try to get something together. I don't know what yet, but I'll keep you posted. All right, you take care.